Hey guys. Good afternoon to you, D Walsh. Hey Amanda. Does that NBS stand for no bullshit? Hey Tammy. Hey Coach Brooksy. Lori. Oh dang it. Ah. I'm just waiting until a few more come in before I started. How's everybody doing today? Yes, it is about that. Rising upward. NBS, I got that quickly. Oh, I'm glad you're doing better, D Walsh. Sorry for the racket, guys. All right. I wanted to show one quick thing. Oh, I love Savannah. I go to Beaufort a lot. Be familiar with Beaufort, South Carolina, Lori Morgan? Oh, good. My grandparents were married there, 1941. And we went there every year, probably that I was born. Know it like the back of my hand. Yes, you are an hour away. Been to Savannah many times. All right. I wanted to show one quick thing before I got started because I keep hearing a lot about this, the whole subscribe, and I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about. It is absolutely gorgeous, Lori Morgan. All right, screen share. All right, so the other night I spoke about the little bell and all that good stuff. Okay, so once you hit subscribe on the channel, and apparently I totally missed the bus on this as well. Yes. Yeah, we about to go over all them little details. And I want to thank D. Walsh for sending that to me. I'm also subscribed to the Polk County the Polk County YouTube page, and I really love Sheriff Grady. He is amazing. Okay, so once you subscribe, that little bell there, when you hit that little bell for notifications that I have circled in red, you get this screen, and it shows that's where you hit your all personalized or no notifications. So if you don't hit anything on the little bell, you don't get anything. So that's why I was like, dang, I'm not getting any kind of lives from anybody, blah, blah, blah. I had to go back and look. I thought it was a subscribe problem. Of course, it was not. It was a user problem because I couldn't figure out how to uh, click on the bell. So I clicked the bell and hit all, and now I'm good on most of my channels. So I just wanted to show you guys what I was talking about the other night. I love Grady. He don't take nothing. No, does not do it. All right. For those that are not aware who I'm speaking about, this is good old Sheriff Grady. Loves him. He is a no nonsense, no bullshit type of person. I guess I can enable my camera. Okay. So he's a no nonsense, no bullshit kind of guy. And it's crazy to watch. It's crazy. But I got that story from DeWalsh. I saw the story come through on Polk County, but I didn't even click it up. I wish I had, because it's pretty damn interesting. So, and I took a ton of notes. So, Sheriff Grady is the sheriff for, no, is the sheriff for Polk County. And he held a press conference, and where he was, I mean, he's just not the guy to play with, okay? We need a lot more like Sheriff Grady. He is just to the point. He don't play. He also had in this, yes, he also had in this news conference Chief Andy Ray and another guy. I never could catch his name, but essentially what they did was they set up Operation Child Protector. Is it protector or protection? I had to go back and look. Let me go to my next little picture. Yeah. So essentially, they set up Operation Child Protector. And the guy you see on the screen, this is the first guy that Sheriff Grady chose to talk about because he is an employee of Disney. So for everybody that goes to Disney, please beware. Please beware. I'm not going to be satisfied until I figure out if it's protection or protector. It's important to me. I think it's protection. No, Operation Child Protector. All right, got it now. So the guy you see on your screen, let me make him just a little bit bigger. I want you guys to really see these people. Okay, that guy right there. Let me tell you about Operation Child Protector first, for those that don't know. Operation Child Protector was like a multi-jurisdictional law enforcement sting operation. And It was for like Winter Haven, Orlando, Lakeland, excuse me, several other places like that in that little group. And it really involved 13 and 14-year-old girls, teenagers, teenagers, both male and female. And um, the sheriff said that the police department and sheriff's office did this undercover operation posing as children. Okay, posing as children. The sheriff said, quote, nasty, nasty, nasty people. That's how he described these people. So the first guy there is Jonathan McGrew. He is a Disney custodian at Hollywood Studios. Let me show you the next image. Let's put these two together. This is him and his girlfriend. Him and his boo thing. All right. She's the only female that was stung in this operation. She is Savannah Lawrence. Now, what these two wanted was to have a threesome with a 13-year-old female. And that's who they thought they were speaking to. And they sent videos of them two having sex to this 13-year-old. Now, Savannah Lawrence is also a custodian at Disney. What do you think about that? 2 custodians of Disney. They further told this child, or who they thought was a child, that they wanted to take their time with this. They wanted to enjoy this and didn't want to rush through it. Then said that they would cuddle afterwards. Sick people. Said their fantasy was to play out a stepdad, stepdaughter, stepmom situation, or a student-teacher situation, or a shoplifter situation where they do a strip search. Now, Savannah, Sheriff Grady said Savannah was a follower. So Jonathan McGrew was wore the pants in that situation, and he was the one that really was setting it all up. Let's go on to the next one. On to the next one. Here we have another employee of Disney. Another employee of Disney. Hey, Deanna Hill. I mean, these people are just sick, sick, sick. All right. Now, he is Kenneth Aguino. All right. He's Kenneth Aguino. He is, yes, Lori Morgan. I love him. He works at Disney's Animal Kingdom as a lifeguard. As a lifeguard. You think about that. Ew. He left his girlfriend at home, who is 7 months pregnant with his child, to go have sex with a 13-year-old. He's a Navy veteran and was trying out for the SEAL team or some other special operation team. And they found out that he was affiliated with gang members, and they tossed his ass out. So there went his Navy gig. What's even worse about this guy, he showed up to have sex with a 13-year-old, leaving his girlfriend of 7 months pregnant at home in his work clothes. He showed up to have sex with this 13-year-old in his Disney uniform. I bet Disney's so proud. He also confessed. On to the next one. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine interrogating these guys. Well, most of them confessed anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. I can't even imagine talking to them. This one is Juan Guadalupe Aurora. He is an RN for Advent Healthcare. He didn't say a whole lot about him other than he's an RN. So far we have 2 Disney employees that were at Hollywood Studios. Another one that was at Animal Kingdom as a lifeguard. This guy's an RN. An actual RN. I just can't even. Okay, the next one. Look at this little sweet pea. This is Philip Nelson. Philip Nelson traveled to meet a 14-year-old girl, or who he thought was a 14-year-old girl. And he left his 7 and 8-year-old children with his mother to meet up with the 14-year-old girl. He works for Powertown Line Construction. And he also confessed. Sheesh. Living. Oh, I can't do it. The next one. This is Carlos Torres. He's a store manager at Starbucks. Sheriff Grady said, I bet they're proud. He's assigned to the Orlando International Airport. Store manager for Starbucks at Orlando's International Airport, where tons of kids fly in and out of constantly. He thought he was having sex with a 13-year-old female, or he was going to have sex with a 13-year-old female. And his fantasy was to have sex in the car. That was his thing. Here's the even more sick part. So, of the people that we've already looked at, this is where Sheriff Grady stopped and he said, because of HIPAA, he couldn't release this information. But one of the people, and it was a male that we have spoke about, is HIV positive. He showed up to have unprotected sex with a child. Unfortunately, detectives stopped it. He was going to directly expose a 13 or 14-year-old to the HIV virus. Sick people, man. Sick people. This guy's a real special one right here. I mean, he is super special. This is Thomas Snyder. He is a custodian at Valencia Hills and Rehab Center in Lakeland. He wanted to have sex with a 14-year-old teenager, male. And he was at work during his conversations with these operatives, or who he thought was a 14-year-old male. He liked smelly feet. He wanted to smell the feet of this 14-year-old. Damn foot sniffer. Wanted to play with his toes. Sheriff Grady said he had really, really, really disgusting language coming out of his mouth to a child. And he said he is really dangerous. I mean, smell his feet? Come on, man. There are some sick people walking amongst us, guys. Sick, sick people. Hey, Outrageous 5. You do the same. The sheriff said that they have 5 brain cells and 4 ain't working. Right, D. Walsh. They've been like, what's wrong with this? Is this Freddy Krueger? Bye. Bye. Gone. Nightmare on your street. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. On to the next one. This is Jeremiah. Meet Jeremiah from Clewiston, Florida. He's a garbage truck driver and also a veteran of the United States Army. Man, that's shameful. He wanted to have sex with a 14-year-old girl. And Sheriff Grady said that, he was a garbage truck driver and took out the trash, and they were going to take him to jail. On to the next one. Oh, this guy's a creep. He just looks creepy. All right. Meet David Ring. He's unemployed, though. He was sending videos to 14-year-old girls. Sheriff Grady said he had very nasty language, very deviant comments. Talk about some sick people. His fantasy was to meet in the pharmacy bathroom. He wanted to meet this 14-year-old in the pharmacy bathroom, a pharmacy bathroom. Come on. Come on. A pharmacy bathroom? What the heck does that have to do with anything? All right. I wish we could clone Sheriff Grady and put him all over, because he would handle business. This is Jared Justice. He's a special guy, too. Jared Justice was on vacation from Los Angeles. But the sheriff said he just needed a one-way ticket because he's not going back to Los Angeles anytime soon. He is married. And he said, Mrs. Justice, your married husband was looking for a 13-year-old girl while you're at home in Los Angeles holding down the home. And he said his last name is Justice. And he said that's exactly what they're going to get out of him. Justice. He said he would like to give him 10 to 15 years. Now, he's special, too, because he brought along some condoms and some candy, some Sour Patch Kids. Brought along some Sour Patch Kids for his little 13-year-old girl. And the sheriff also sent a message to Mrs. Justice to let her know that this is not a wave him off and out the back door type of situation. He said, we prosecute our criminals around here. And he said he assumes he stopped at a convenience store and bought the candy and the condoms. He didn't travel from Los Angeles with them. On to the next one. All right. Meet Julio Cedeno Jr. He was looking for a 13-year-old girl. He did not. All he's charged with, excuse me, is transmitting harmful material. He would not travel. And what he was doing was sending nasty pictures and stuff back and forth, usually of himself, in very deviant um, postures. So he didn't go anywhere technically, but he was sending nasty stuff to what he thought was a 13-year-old. Oh, this guy's. Excuse me, guys. I'm so sorry. If you've ever ordered pizza from Domino's in Orlando, this could have been your driver because that's where he works. Orlando's Domino driver. Pizza. He wanted the 13-year-old, 14-year-old, I'm sorry, 14-year-old. This is, by the way, this is Lior Inbar. He wanted the 14-year-old in him to have a safe word. And the judge, and the Sheriff Grady said that the safe word now is jail. You're going to jail, Betty. Sheriff Grady did say he lived with his parents. He said a lot of these people either live with their mom or their parents, and he's one of them. He lives with his parents, plural. So I don't know how Domino's feels about that, but sure they're not happy about it. On to the next one. Oh, goodness. I remember this guy. We scoot him up. He's special. Joshua Ortega. He worked at the ale house. He lived with his mommy. Wanted to have sex with the 13-year-old little girl. And Sheriff Grady had a message for his mama. He said you need to talk to your son because he's trying to have sex with 13-year-old little kids. On to the next one. This is Edward McGaffigan. And he says that he's a professional poker player. Grady says he lost. He says they doubled down. He doubled down and they trumped him. Looking for a 14-year-old girl. He is guilty of the harmful material. He said when they picked him up, they showed him the chats that he was having with this supposed 14-year-old. And he said, man, that's bad. He would have been able to travel, but somebody stole his car. So that's the only thing that kept him grounded in this situation. So he was just guilty of sending filth to a supposed 14-year-old. Now, this guy wasn't actually part of the sting, but Sheriff Grady wanted to talk about him nonetheless because he falls right into that category. And his name is Eric Rowe. He's the worst one of all. The absolute worst. He had been inappropriately behaving with an 8-year-old girl since she was 4 years old. They have documented at least 10 molestations during that time by his own statements. He says he's ashamed of himself, but Sheriff Grady says it's a little too late for that. He called his own self animalistic. He called his own self animalistic. And he made this statement that the victim would need psychological counseling for what we did together. And Sheriff Grady said, no, 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 no. What you did to this child, yes, she will need psychological counseling. He told the little girl to keep it a secret, and they are trying to charge him with a capital felony. He said he is a very dangerous, deviant child predator. So he was talking about this digital dragnet, Operation Child Protector. And he said the strength of the investigation were the men and women who worked around the clock to to do all this, to lay all the groundwork. And you think about this, me looking at Sheriff Grady, I would be embarrassed to know the things that he knows, if that makes sense. Like, he's an older guy. He said he had grandkids, kids. I can't imagine him or any of these detectives that also, he said, had children and grandchildren having to read all this filth. Sick, sick, sick. I'm sure it's something they won't forget. One of the other people that partnered in this sting operation spoke and said, parents and grandparents, their job is to protect their child and grandchildren from people that are dangerous. And law enforcement's job is to protect them from people preying on them. So the main message is parents, wake up and pay attention to this. Bird, the other guy that spoke, he said that it baffles him how they continue having results like this. And this is, Polk County is doing this a lot. And Sheriff Grady said they partner with several other places all around the state, and they keep getting these same results. So are they just that bold with it now that they don't care if they're involved in a sting operation? Or it's just that deviant need is so bad that they don't care? They're just unbothered by it. He said one of the reporters asked him what media platform this took place on. And he said he wasn't going to disclose which media platform this all came out of, because they're still going to use it and round up more people like this. And they're out there. And he said, but these social media sites makes it easier for these predators to get to children. And, it's not the first time a lot of these people have done this. It might be the first time they've gotten caught. But you think about how many children they may have already gotten to. You probably wouldn't want to know. It's that bad. Their desire and their need for this deviancy it's so strong in them. I'm telling you. He said something really interesting, and I used to say something along this lines, but he said that his dad told him, this is Sheriff Grady, he said, my dad told me it's not my job to be your friend, but if I raise you right and parent you, we'll be friends later in life. And that's really true. I used to tell my son all the time, I'm your drill sergeant and we'll be friends later, And we were. I mean, that's just the way it worked. I just, you think about all the children that go to Disney. That's what that attracts. So you would think that Disney would have um, a really, really tight human resource department, um, just because they have so many kids running in and out. And, a lot of these people probably haven't been arrested, but I don't know. They're going to be on the list now. How about that? They're going to be on the list. So, and I would say 9 times out of 10 in these cases that are going to be prosecuted, they will not have access to anything technical. That's the way it works, at least around here. Um, and I hope it works there. He mentioned something about that, so I'm hoping that that's true there. So they won't be able to lure these kids. But he said what they do is they start on the platform or whatever, then they want to move off of that platform and get to chat, off of that. And that's their goal, is to get them off of that. And he said that parents need to start watching their kids on the internet. He said, yes, you need to be all in their business because of situations like this. What if some young little girl wanted to, was just curious and wanted to try it? And can you imagine? Can you imagine? Think about the mind of a 13-year-old. And you got these little predators running around here, and it's just really sad to me. It's really sad. And, you know, you do have to be all in your kid's business. You do. And he was talking about, I forgot what the percentage was of parents that don't um, child protect their kid's device. And there, excuse me, he was talking about an app that did do that. And I'm sure you can look it up. But yes, Coach Brooksy, and yes, D. Walsh, these kids, some of them are like 12, looking like 21. Like, it's bananas to me how these parents let these kids go out looking like this. But I thought this was interesting. 17, that's quite a few people. Um, that's quite a few. And then you got 3 Disney workers, a Domino pizza man, a Starbucks worker. These deviant people are everywhere. Everywhere. And it's really scary. It is scary. These are scary times. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to adjust to what's really going on, or either they don't want to acknowledge it. I don't know. Um, like my parents' generation, they're baby boomers, and my dad is just now learning how to use a cell phone, like the internet on the cell phone. And I went somewhere the other day and I was like, I wonder how my parents even do anything, because my mom will not touch a computer and or cell phone. She don't want no parts of it. My dad is getting a little better, but most everything you do, like even at the doctor, they give you a tablet sometimes to update forms. And I'm thinking, how do these people get by not fooling with the internet? I don't know, but um, I found, and it's like that. You take people like that, and they have my 21-year-old nephew living with them. He's lived with him maybe 2 years. They have no idea. No idea anything. You know what I mean? They don't know what people are even capable of because they don't understand the electronics. Um, they don't understand how far that goes. It's just very scary. Um, I tell you what I did. I put a keylogger program on my son's computer, and it logged every stroke he had. Every single stroke he made on that computer, I knew it. I knew exactly what was going on. I just put it at that time. We each had a home computer, and I just put it on the actual home computer, so I knew who was using it at what time, and of course, I knew from the language which kid it was. So, but it logged every keystroke made on that computer. Honey, I got the business on them kids. They couldn't do nothing that I didn't know about. And they could not figure out how I knew. Could not figure out how I knew. I also did the dummy Facebook account. I did it all. And I don't feel bad about any of it. None of it. Would do it again. Probably worse. I'd probably be worse. But that's what parents are going to have to do. They're going to have to watch these hot ass little 13, 14-year old girls. Um, and it's like they keep getting younger and younger and younger. Like I said the other night, my grandparents said, when you go out that door, you're a representation of me and your grandfather. Be on your best behavior. No, you're not going out looking like a clown. Um, be respectful, mind your manners, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I did. And I always did that. Always. I was afraid, I didn't want to have to deal with the repercussion of my grandpa or disappointing my grandparents. Really, I mean, I worried about that. Did not want to disappoint them. Yeah, it's just, I'm so glad that of all places that Sheriff Grady could be, he is right there at the kids' capital of, the South, really. Because Disney is a big attractor for kids. So I think they're very blessed and very fortunate to have Sheriff Grady. Um, and what he does is amazing. He is a good cop. He is a good cop. He's not a bad apple. Not so far that I know. He really enjoys his job. And he was talking about that. Well, they were all three talking about in the press conference that they work together so well that um, he didn't think that they could find another police department or another situation where it's interagency, detectives working with officers in the agency, and then it's multi jurisdictional. So it's the sheriff's department, the fire department. It's all these people. He said they work so well together that he didn't think that could be duplicated anywhere. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal because I know where I'm at, the fire department and the police department don't get along. Um, they're constantly pinning them against each other in certain like charity events and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't like that because it looks bad. Yes, parents thinking it's cute. Like I don't understand that. And I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, okay, I have someone that I know in her 70s. She has several kids, probably four or five. She had four or five kids at a very young age. Her kids had their kids at a very young age. And now those kids are having children at a very young age. And I'm like, did none of y'all look and see, like, I don't know. I think part of it is generational curse type stuff. Like when you know better, you do better. Especially on like some of these kids that I see that are acting grown and looking grown. Um, I'm like, your mom think that's cute that you come out looking like that, and maybe she don't know no better. You know what I mean? Like it. The parents today are it's a whole different ball game. Yes, Amanda, babies are raising babies. Hmm. Right. My kids, everybody came to our house. They didn't. They weren't the ones that ran. Sorry, they weren't the ones that ran. People came to our house to, hang out or whatever. So they didn't want to go anywhere. They could have, didn't want to. I mean, every now and then, but um, we knew where they were. Say, I knew where my car was. Please believe me. And I would call and catch my daughter. It not anything bad. You know what I mean, but just typical teenage kind of stuff. Wasn't where she was supposed to be. Drive by and see and that type of stuff. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? If you say you're going here to get your hair done and it's been 4 hours and you're supposed to be getting a silky press and in 4 hours you haven't gotten it done, oh, we got a problem. First of all, I didn't fall off the turnip truck last night. See what I'm saying? Like, you know, just typical teenage stuff to try to get to stay out late or, go want to ride around and look cute because you got the car and blah, 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 blah. But, um, stuff happens and they really don't realize some of the dangerous things that they do, these teenagers. Just, they don't. But he really strongly suggested that these parents and grandparents please put parental controls on your kids and grandkids' phone. It is a problem. These predators are out there. I mean, here's 17 off the street. Boom. 17. Hey, sweet pea. 17 predators off the street in a sting. And I think he said the sting was like 2 weeks or something like that. So, I mean, if that's the truth, that's a lot of people. Yes. Yes. That's right, Coach Brooksy. That's right. Cut it at the root. Yes, it's crazy, D Walsh. It's crazy. And then that's the thing, you go back to this whole, okay, they look like they're 21, then these guys holler at them, and then they're in trouble. So I'm saying, like, and it's like it was entrapment. Uh, you know, they don't know how old they are. I had a friend that did that. Um, he got in trouble. Right, Coach Brooksy. I mean, he got in trouble, but the girl was, I want to say 16. And of course, she lied about her age. That's another problem. And he just talked to her. He didn't do anything else with her. And I think someone told him, man, that girl's 16 years old. He was like, dang, I didn't know that. But it also comes down to maturity. Um, yes, Sweet PE. Antoine Whitley is a good example. Here he went to his friend's house, probably to play video games. I don't know. They end up smoking hallucinogens, and then look what happens. You know, just think about that. Your kid leaves to go play video games at a friend's house. and then never comes back. It's sad. I mean, and you have, it's not that they're bad kids. It's not that you want to do this parental control stuff because they're bad kids. It's to protect them. That's the thing. They don't have to do anything. It shouldn't be like a punishment to put parental controls on their shit. It should just be to protect them, period. It's not a punishment. I don't understand that. But there are apps and such out there that will benefit and protect children. And that's what they are. They are children. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Children. Even 18. And then you got the guys. I hate to say this, but the guys, these little teenage guys are like so damn immature. They don't mature like girls. Period. On period. It's just, you hate to see. I love things like this. I love them. I love to see these guys off the damn street. Is that the case that you told me about, D. Walsh? You sent me something, I think. See, we're not into the shroom thing, but I'm seeing that a lot more frequently. Sweet PE says teens are doing shrooms here. We're not in that phase yet. Um, oh my goodness. It's just crazy out here. It's just, I wish that I wish the parents would take his advice, because I hate to see any kid be lured away by a predator, all because they're curious or interested. You get a little 14-year-old girl and she's curious and she gets a bite on her phone. And what do you think she's going to do? It's just parents protect your kids. That's all his message was. Parents protect your kids on these social media sites. He said the internet is a dangerous place for 13 and 14-year-olds. That's what this sting was all about, the 13 and 14-year-olds. But just generally, what is a shroom? It's that it's mushrooms. Those, isn't it those psychedelic mushrooms? No, right. I didn't. I lived with my grandparents, and my grandparents were really good people and very hip. And people wanted to come over here and hang out. I don't remember really going to anybody else's house to hang out. And I think I took in multiple friends at some point. I had like, I think when I was 20, I moved out at 21. And I think that I had one friend that got pregnant at 20 and she was scared to tell her mom. So she moved in because she didn't want to tell her mom. And then, I've had several friends that lived here with me. And my grandparents were just cool. We had a good relationship and I could communicate with them. And that's another thing. a lot of parents aren't really interested in what their kids are doing, not just on social media, but just in general. Uh, how was your day at school? What did you guys do at school? Um, you know, Asking questions about friends, just having some kind of relationship with your child. Um, you know, it pays off in the end. It pays off in the end. Who wouldn't want to be friends with their child? Um, but there's a way to do it, and that's what the sheriff was saying. Don't try to be their friend. Parent these kids. It's just telling you. But I definitely wanted to come on, just because it's fresh on my mind. I read it and I was taking notes, and I was like, man, this is bananas. You got one guy that wants to smell kids' feet and play with their toes, one that wants meat in the pharmacy bathroom. Now, every time I go to the pharmacy, I'm going to like look around, like, is there some creep waiting to go in the bathroom? My mom lives right next door and has. It's the strangest situation you'll ever hear in your life. But I was raised by my grandparents, thank God. They're good people. And not saying my mom's not, that wasn't it. But she was a single mother and she worked all the time. And I stayed with my grandparents, which was right across the street. And then when my grandparents were gone, I inherited the house, and my mom still lives right across the street. So, um, still a very strange relationship, regardless. But I do miss my grandparents because they were good people, good people. They raised me right. Um, just not a mean bone in their body, not a mean bone. And it makes me different because I had baby boomer parents and greatest generation grandparents, and then my aunts and uncles were more or less raised like siblings to me. So they were like really like my older brothers and sisters because I was around them all the time. Hey, G Money. So I have like a blessing. I have the influence from the greatest generation. I have an influence from the baby boomers, and I have a interaction with the younger generation with my kids. So it's just it makes you a well-grounded person, in my opinion. And I really love that, and I've enjoyed that part of my life. Definitely takes a village, D. Walsh. Grandparents are the best, Amanda. The best. I was spoiled rotten. Still am. I still am spoiled. Try not to be. There's difference between spoiled and I think spoiled brat. You know what I mean? My aunt, um, that is still alive, that comes in my chat a lot. She helps me out tremendously. Um, she's always been like that with me, though. We've always had a good relationship. So I've had her, but these kids really don't have that now. These kids don't have that. They don't have the blessing of the family unit is just dissolved into nothing. And that's thanks to the federal penitentiary. I could go on and on about that. I'm not going to do that. But the family unit is no more. So where are these kids getting the influence? There's got to be positive mentorship in these communities, keeping them busy. You know, I was told all of the time, I love you. Oh, thank you, G Money. I love you from my grandparents. You can be whatever you want to be in life. I was told that all the time. And this is the first time in my life that I've ever felt like I can do this on my own. Like, I really enjoy the YouTube thing. This is the first time in my life that I've never had a job. And it's just, it's been an interesting ride. But I love to do the YouTube thing. I love to interact with the people on YouTube, my subscribers. I have the best subscribers. Um, and I've made a lot of great relationships out of YouTube that I wouldn't have got elsewhere. Oh, hey, Ava, sweetheart. But I really, really enjoy people coming on the channel and leaving comments and encouraging and positive, and that's my vibe. And kids don't have mentorship, when they, you know, it's sad when the mama is too busy in the home and can't give that positive, those positive affirmations, the positive reinforcement, all of that good stuff. But I had all that. And I'm so thankful I did because it made me who I am today. And I wouldn't trade that. I've had a good life. Cannot deny that. Good life. This is the first time I've ever not worked. So it's a change. It's different. I don't know how long I'll do it, but I'm going to give it a shot. And it is something that I truly, truly enjoy doing. I love to uh, do the videos and chat with people and check out stuff and research stuff because that was kind of my field anyway. I was doing like real estate, comparable sales, stuff like that. I was used to doing the research, so it's just my thing. But I don't want to get off topic. I want parents to really take heed and start giving your kids that positive energy. Even if you only yourself have a very small amount, give half of it to your kids. They need it. They need it. It's not the same. My grandparents had 7 kids. That is hilarious. I did my grandfather's obituary too. That is hilarious. We are alike, Amanda. No bullshit. Now, my grandparents had me, and then I had an older cousin. He's passed away now, but thank you, D. Walsh. You're one of my biggest positive vibes in my life, by the way. Like, you are real talk. Like, I feel like we are related. It's crazy. But yeah, just parents, just please get in your kids' business. It's not a punishment. It's not a punishment for you to get in their business. Oh, thank you, Coach Brooksy. Thanks, G Money. You guys are great. You guys are amazing. Get in your kids' business. It's not about punishing them, man. It's to protect them. That's another thing. Me and my boo thing in there was talking about. There's a guy around town, and he will stop and if he sees a kid doing wrong, he'll stop them and say, you know better than that. Um, Aw, thank you, Ava. Ava's got a sweet heart. Look at what she said to G Money. That's so sweet. Yeah, kids are raising themselves now. But this guy, he'll stop and he'll say something to him, like your mama would beat your ass if she saw what you were doing, or your grandmama, you know, you ain't got no business doing that. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Um, you're going in there to steal some fake fingernails from the dollar store. But you know how much that would cost you if you got caught with it? Is it worth it? It's that kind of stuff that these kids need. Um, they need that. And, some of these government funded community centers that try to take these kids in and try to turn it into a positive, they don't have the staffing to be able to do it. And I don't know. It's, oh, thank you, Ava. I have much love for you too. Like you're the sweetest thing. Um, don't start it. Don't start them waterworks, you money. Get me all tore up. Um, yeah, I feel like these community centers do good things for these kids, but they're so understaffed, and especially with what's going on in the world today, it's just you think about that. If you have a parent that's at home with three or four kids and everybody's on lockdown, I couldn't imagine, first of all. But second of all, that's a strain. That's a real strain. And instead of being miserable or complaining about it, I wish people would take the time to really get to know their kids. Um, if I could do it all over again, that's one of the things I would do too. I don't know about Pal. Amanda, I don't know about that. I've never heard that in this area. Yeah, just protect your kids, protect your grandkids, talk to them. Like, I don't know. This really bothered me. 17. Oh, Ava, you're so sweet. So sweet. Same. It's just like 17 predators off the street. That's great. But think about that. That could have been 17 kids. 17 kids could have been, in trouble right there. Just like that. It's just so scary. I love, yes, Coach Brooksy. One hell of a family. I love it. I love it. I just, I threw chick on the end of it because I have the little nickname Helluva and I've had it for a long time. And, well, since the song came out. And um, I tell you how old I am. Even when I graduated, they yelled it. Like, that's how long I've had that stinking nickname. But um, I actually corresponded with the song Helluva is from Brotherhood Creed, and I looked at Brotherhood Creed on Instagram, found one of the guys, and messaged him, and he messaged me back, and I told him, I said, "Man, your song Helluva, it was a big influence on me." Um, and my name on Instagram is Helluva too. And he was like, "Oh my gosh," he's like, "That's so cool." He's like, "Do you want to hear some more of my music?" So I was really happy to know that. Um, I was able to correspond with him. I thought that was so neat. And anywho, getting off subject. Oh, Ava, I'm so glad. This is the kind of chat I like. This is my vibe right here. My vibe. But I got so many stories piled up. I got some videos to do. Can y'all believe that about the bride and the groom fighting in traffic? What you said, Coach Brooks, is already right here. Already right here. I didn't write that down, but D. Walsh knows it's up here in my head. I was trying to find a masculine way for Helluvachic, and Coach Brooksy just did that for me. Hell of a family. Mm-hmm. You did it right there for me. I appreciate you. Yeah, shooting in traffic. Right after you get married, y'all can't get along to get home? That's a problem. And like, what in the world? What was the conversation? Can you imagine being in that car with the bride and the groom and a best friend and the conversation that was going on? Like, what in the world was that conversation about? Then I was like, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, were they coming home from the wedding or were they coming home from the reception? And if they were coming home from the reception, was he drinking? Like, what was going on? Like, I don't know. I couldn't ever find any more details about it. Yes, the bride and groom were stuck in traffic on the spillway coming into New Orleans. And supposedly, he had his friend in the car with him, bride and groom and a friend of the groom. And he accused the friend of sleeping with his new wife. So hey, Jay Gray, he got his pistol out and shot him. Said he was running around on the highway in his tuxedo. And the bride had to take cover inside the ambulance. Said, he's fine. But they were all backed up in traffic because of a wreck about a mile ahead. And then someone called in an active shooter because he's running around with a pistol and he shot his friend and accidentally shot in a car beside of them. Like, yeah, he was on one, all right. Like, that's crazy. Can't imagine. I can't imagine seeing that. You know what I'm saying? It, it really made me think, yeah, they really were coming from their wedding because she still had on her wedding dress and he had on his tuxedo, and maybe they didn't have a reception and they were just really legit on their way home. It's crazy. Right? Yes. One guy said he had a 45 in his lap, and if he even approached his truck or anyone around him, he was going to shoot him. I thought the same thing, Amanda. I was like, did Morris Chestnut? I remember, uh, I can't remember exactly because I've seen them. My daughter watched that movie until I had to take the DVD away from her. I was like, I'm over hearing this movie playing. It's crazy. Um, I'm trying to think of that movie. That had Terrence Howard in it too, didn't it? I think. But anyways, yeah, it was crazy, crazy, and like, there's water there, so like they could go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're really legit stuck there with concrete barriers, and you think about that. You got an active shooter on the highway. That's dangerous. So dangerous. Yeah, I would have loved to have heard what was going on in that car. Like, I can't imagine. Cannot imagine. That's a wedding day you'll never forget. The best man, yep, exactly. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I just wanted to come on here and talk about this Polk County deal. May come back later. Who knows? Um, it's crazy, Jake Ray. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this online predator situation because it is a huge problem. Now, one more thing though. You think about this. What about, just really think about it. What if one of these people or all of these people were um, wanting to do more than sex with these 13 or 14-year olds? Um, be it, something horrible like in their life, or throw them in some kind of, sex trafficking or human trafficking type thing. Very dangerous. So that's 17 less people that can do that on the streets. And I'll take that for as a win for today. I'll take that. I will take it. So yeah, someone could have got hurt, D-Walsh. Like, that's crazy. And I was thinking to myself, well, dang, where was your pistol at this whole time? Was it in your tuxedo pocket? Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. I think he's going to stick around and fight it. Como, I think he's going to stick around and fight that. Because I'm like, 11 women? Sheesh. G Money, he's been accused of sexual inappropriateness, I think is the best way to describe it, with like 11 women. But I bet he did too, Ava. Tay Diggs, that's it. Tay Diggs. I was sitting here thinking of I could see his face. I couldn't. Sheesh. Thank you for that. But yeah, I'll take today as a win. And regardless, they couldn't do anything with them. They're going to the jail. And like he said, hopefully they don't get a slap on the wrist and thrown out the back door. Let's hope that they um, do what they're supposed to do with these people. And that's another problem to address in the justice system. The justice system needs a overhaul. Bad. Bad, bad. They're working off of very, very old, dated laws that need to be updated and changed. And until they do, everybody's going to suffer. Mainly the black population. Let's be all the way 100 with it. Rock gut truth. Rock gut truth. Yes, Ava, I did see that post. Catch me up, Hunty. Catch me up. Yeah, imagine telling that wedding story later. It's just bananas. Never forget that. And the country won't either. That's the sad part. They're like, oh, you're the girl that got. Yeah, we remember that. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. A little jail justice. Wow. Yes. Prayers for the kids and families that. Woo. So hopefully, hopefully in the next thing they catch even more because we do need a lot more. I wish other departments could model this situation they have where they're working with multi jurisdictions. That's how you get shit done. When everybody communicates, is on the same level, and you can even say with the Kanika Jenkins case, I hate to even bring it up today. I hate to even bring it up, but I got to. You think about that. You see how Polk County is getting shit done with the help of all of these agencies working together. Now, do you know how many egos that involves? All male egos, mind you. Some of them. I'm sure they have a few females thrown in there. Just saying. Men really have big egos. We have our own different type of ego, women. But, it's that macho, masculine energy. And if they can work together, and law enforcement agencies are very competitive, and if they can do it, anybody can do it. Thank you, Ava. So maybe there is hope for people working together after all. I'm just saying, if this, I mean, you're talking big police departments working together for a common goal. Common goal. And I just say, if they can do it, anybody can do it. Because that's pretty big. Not only that, they accomplished their goal. That's pretty important. They work together and accomplish their goal. So it's not always the easiest thing to work with others, but it's a big deal. Hey, BAP. Does that stand for what I think it stands for? I always wanted to ask you that. Regardless, I don't want to keep you guys long. I just wanted to talk about Polk County because that's huge. Yes, I thought so, BAP. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming over to the live. Yeah, BAP. That's what I thought it was. Um, Oh, Grady would tear his case to pieces. Tear it to pieces. Yeah, J. Cray, they're about to get dealt with. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Bap. Stacy, thanks for sharing that. Oh, Ava, you're so encouraging. That's fresh. I love it. Love it. Love it. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm gonna head on out and get on these stories. Oh man, Marie 722, she is on it. You hear me? She sends amazing stuff. D Walsh does too. So I'm like trying to keep up with them too. And then I got Tammy, she sends great stories, and then Linda sends stories. And um, I got some that I've worked on a little bit at a time in my notebook, and I just want to make sure I get it. Sometimes for me, it's about respect and um, just like the one where the teens stole the jewelry off the dead man. Um, that guy commented, his uncle commented on that video and said that was somebody, that was my nephew that they did that to. And I apologized. I was like, I hope that you don't. I like that one too, Jay Cray. Have a hell of a day. That's kind of masculine for some merch, huh? Um, he said to me, I told him I would take the video down. It wasn't a big deal. I apologized if I offended his family or him. And he said, no, 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 no. But my nephew didn't kill himself. He said somebody did something to him. And I said I would help him in any way I could. So I'm waiting on him to contact me because I will help him. I'll help anybody any way that I can. I can at least get somebody steered in the right direction. But look into stuff, whatever they need, I'll do it. But yeah, I'm not going to waste any more of you guys' time. I'm going to get these stories out so you guys can be current on all the news. Have a hell of a day. I loves it. I think I'm going to use that, Jake Ray. Oh, thanks, Stacy. I appreciate that. Oh, thank you, G Money. I try so hard. Yes, D Walsh, you send them tear jerkers. Got my waterworks going over here. Sometimes it does affect me. I'll be real honest. Sometimes it does because it's so sad. Thanks, Jake Ray. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. But you guys have a hell of a day. Bye.